LeetCode series. So today we need to solve these three questions. So let's start with the first question. That is user activity for past 30 days. Okay, so in this question we are given activity table. The column names are mentioned as user ID, session ID, activity date, and activity type. Okay, and their types are also mentioned to us. And it is given to us like there is no primary key for this table, so it may have duplicate rows. So two rows can have same values. Okay, so what we need to find in this question is write an SQL query to find the daily active users count for a period of 30 days ending on 27th of July 2019 inclusively. Okay, so for 30 days we need to find the count of active users for a particular date. Okay, a user is active on a some day if they made at least one activity on that day. Okay, and the result can be in any order. So the result that we are giving, the order doesn't matter in that particular part, and we need to make it sure like for a user to be an active on a particular date, it should perform any kind of activity. Okay, so let's see more through an example. So in the example number 1, this activity table is given to me. So let's say for this particular user ID, the session ID is given as to me 1, and the activity date is given to me. What is the activity type that is given here? Open session. Okay, for the same user 1, the session ID is as 1, the date is also as 20 of July 2019, and the type of activity is scroll down. So particular user can be termed as active, or particular user ID can be termed as active if it perform any kind of activity, any type of activity on a particular date. Okay, so this user ID 1 can be termed as active. Okay, because it is performing open session or scroll down, means for 1 only we can consider it as an active user. Okay, so what we can do is, if we see the output what it is giving me, the day and the active user on a particular day. So let's see on the day of 20 of July 2019. So the days are given on the sorted order. So let's see for the 20 of July 2019. Okay, so let's see these highlighted part of the data that is given to me. So what is the active count? 2 it is given to me. Why it is coming 2? So for user ID 1, it performs 3 types of activities. Okay, open session, scroll down, end session on this particular date. So how many means what we call, we will consider it only one time, single time. Yes, because the user ID 1 is only performing, or the user ID, what it is signifying? It's signifying a particular kind of user. So it is only performing different types of activities. So we can consider it as 1. And what is the second user? The user ID as 2, because it is performing open session on 20 of July. So that's why the answer was 2. Is that clear? And now if we come to this second part, what is the endpoint that is given to me? 27. Okay, now let's see on 21 of July that is given in the answer. Okay, so for this particular part, which part of the data will be considered this part? Okay, so how many active users will be there? 2 will be there. Okay, user ID 2 will be there, and user ID 3 will be there. Although this user ID 3 is performing 3 different types of activities, but it will be considered 1. So what we can use? We can use group by function, and we can do group by according to which thing? According to activity days. Okay, and what we need to find? We need to find different user IDs, distinct user IDs we need to find now. And we need to find count of distinct user IDs. Is it clear? And why these are not included? Because we can see the date is here 25. Okay, day is here 25 of June. Okay, so 25 of June, what is the what you call tenure of 30 days period? It will be basically from 28th of June to 27th of July. Is that fine? And 25 of June is basically out of that reach, or out of that period. It is not including that particular period, 30 days. So that's why we are not considering these two datas. That's why they are not included in our answer also. So I think question is clear. What we need to actually find is, we need to find distinct user IDs. We need to find count of distinct user IDs on a particular date. Okay, we will use group by function, and we will group the data according to the activity dates. Okay, so I will write the what we call the code, and then it will be more clear. If you are having any other doubt, then you can ask in the comment section. Okay, so let's write the code, what we want. So if we see what we want from the table in our output, we want day. Okay, so basically this day is basically in our output, and we want active users. Okay, so what we can do is, I can use select. I will convert this particular date into this particular format in which I want first of all year, then month, and then day. So I will do toChar. I will use toChar function, which converts activity date to which format? YYY dash mm dash dd. Okay, as what is the alias that I want to give? Day. okay, because that's what it is written in the output. So I give it at alias at day. Okay, so what is the second column that I want? I want active user. So as I already mentioned you, what is active user basically? It is a basically a count of distinct user IDs. So what I can do is I will use count of distinct user underscore ID. Okay, what is the alias that is given to me? Active users. I will copy it here. I will simply paste it here. Okay, so these are the two columns that I required. And if I am using this aggregate function, so I need to basically use group by function. Okay, and I already told you I am grouping them according to the dates. Okay, that's what it is mentioned in the output also. Okay, so first of all, from which table I am using it? From activity table. Okay, from activity table, where condition will be the condition that we want is 30 days tenure. So 30 days tenure, that will be ending at on which date? 27th of July. It is given to me. So what I can do is simply I will copy this date, where activity underscore date between which dates? Simply paste this part here. Okay, it should be between 30 days before it will be 28th of June. 28th of June, and it will be simply 29th of July. That is the end date that is given to me. Okay, so if the activity days lies between these, so on these values, I want to perform these particular kind of action. Okay, so for this value, the data will be means collected for me first of all, and then I will basically group it according to group by activity date, activity underscore date. Okay, and ordered according to order by days. Okay, so let's run it. I think question is clear. Okay, let's see what is the difference here. Okay, the alias is kind of fine. What is the difference here? It is showing underscore. Okay, so I think I made, okay, format I've given is wrong. So now let's run it again. This time it should be getting passed. Okay, it is getting passed. So let's submit it. So it is executing successfully. So let's if you are having any kind of doubt in this particular question, you can ask in the comment section. So let's move on to the second question. So our second question is daily leads and partners. Okay, so what is given in this question is daily sales table, and the column names are given as date IDs. The types are also mentioned to us. Second column name is make name. Third is lead ID. Third is fourth is partner ID. Okay, and this table is also not having any kind of primary key. Okay, so this table contains the date and the name of the product sold and the ID of the lead and partner it was sold to. Okay, so and what we need to find in this particular question is write an SQL query to query that will for each date ID and make name returns the number of distinct lead IDs and distinct partner IDs. So what we want to return is for a particular date ID and name make name, we want to return distinct lead IDs and partner IDs. Okay, so it is, I think question is kind of clear. So what we need to keep also in mind is that the result can be in any order. So order doesn't matter here. So let's see more through an example. So this table is given to me. Here the date ID is given, make name is given, and lead ID and partner IDs are mentioned to me. So if I see the example here, so for a particular date ID and make name, we are given distinct or unique lead what we call lead IDs. Okay, so count of distinct unique lead IDs and distinct unique partner IDs for a particular make name and date IDs. Okay, so here also what we can do, we can group it according to date IDs and make names, and we can find distinct lead IDs and distinct partner IDs. So that's what is asked in the question. So I think the question is kind of clear. So what we need to do is we need to group it according to date IDs and make names and count distinct lead IDs and partner IDs, and that's what it is given in the question. Okay, so if I will write it here, it will be more clear. So same thing, first I will need to convert this particular date into in this particular format. So how I want year and then month and then the day. Okay, so what I can do is select to char, and then type will be basically date underscore ID. This column I want to convert into which format? YYY and dash mm dash dd. Okay, And what I want to keep its name as date id, date underscore id. Okay, what is the second column that I want? Second column is make name, so make name underscore name. Okay, what is the third column I want? I want to count distinct what? Lead IDs. So that's what it is mentioned here, unique lead IDs. Okay, so distinct lead, I will copy this unique lead, distinct lead underscore ID. Okay, as what I want to keep the name of this particular column, unique lead. Okay, what is the fourth column that I want? I want to count distinct partner IDs, partner underscore IDs, as the name as unique partner IDs, unique partners. Okay, so these are the 4 columns that I want. Okay, so from which table I want this? From daily sales. Daily, the spelling should be correct. I need to make sure that spellings are correct, otherwise it will directly give me runtime error, won't show me the particular type of error. Okay, and I already mentioned you, I want to group it according to group by date underscore id and make underscore name. Okay, so if I execute it, let's see. Okay, it's running completely fine. So if you are having any kind of doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Okay, so let's submit it. I think it should work fine. Okay, so it is successfully running. So let's come to our third question, that is the last question, that is find the followers count. Okay, so what is given in this question is, so we are given a followers table, and for a particular user ID we are given followers ID. Okay, and the followers ID and the user ID is the primary key for this table, so no 2 rows will have same user ID and followers ID. Okay, so what you need to find, write an SQL query that will for each user return the number of followers. Okay, and return the result table according to the other user ID. Okay, so we need to keep in mind like the what we call the output should be in according to the order of user ID. Okay, so smaller user ID should be coming first. Okay, so we need to find for each user number of followers. So basically we want to count distinct followers or distinct what you call followers ID. Okay, and it will be distinct itself. Why? Because it is a primary key. So primary key, what is specify primary key? So primary key specify like the no 2 rows will have same followers ID. Okay, as it is a primary key. Okay, so we won't need to use the function distinct. So what we can do is we can directly write, if we see the example first. So let's say the user ID is given to me, follower ID is mentioned to me. I want to mention. I want to return for a particular user ID the count of followers. Okay, so what I can do is I can group it according to the user ID, and then simply I can use count function to count different follower ID. Is it fine? So I will write it here, it will making more clear. Select what we want, distinct user ID. Okay, as what alias I want to give, user underscore ID. Okay, and then what is the second column I want? Count follower ID underscore ID. Okay, alias I want to give? Followers count. So copy it simply and paste it here. Okay, so these are the 2 columns that I want. From which table? From followers table. Okay, what should be the condition? I want to group it according to group by user ID. Okay, and I want to order it according to the user ID as it is mentioned in the question. So order by user underscore ID. So I think question is clear. So let's run this question. It is passing successfully. Let's submit it. Okay, it's passing successfully. Okay, so if you are having any kind of doubt, you can ask in the comment section. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.